Have you ever been out and about just minding your own business when low blood sugar hits like that? As someone who's struggled for a long time with reactive hypoglycemia, I know exactly how it feels, and it can be really scary, especially if you aren't prepared for that moment. So today I want to share with you my top tips for how to deal with a low blood sugar moment and how to be prepared so when it does happen inevitably, it doesn't turn into an emergency or fainting or something worse. If you're new, my name is Katie. I'm a registered dietitian and certified personal trainer, and here on the channel we talk about all things blood sugar management, including PCOS, insulin resistance, and reactive hypoglycemia. So if that interests you, then make sure to check out my other videos and consider subscribing. All right, so getting straight into the tips today, if you plan to be out for more than an hour and a half to 2 hours, I always recommend planning a snack that's good for balanced blood sugar. So an example of that is going to be something with carbohydrates, but also a little bit of protein and or fat. This is going to help bring your blood sugar back up with the carbohydrates, and then with the protein and fat, it's going to help keep it steady so that snack actually lasts between meals versus just bringing your blood sugar up for a second and then spiking it way back down. And yes, it may seem a little excessive to plan for just an hour and a half or 2 hour outing. I know that seems a little crazy to some people, but with reactive hypoglycemia, you really just have to be diligent and you have to be a little more prepared than the average person because your blood sugar is a lot more unstable than the average person. You're more sensitive to those highs and lows, so you're gonna feel it if you're out and about and all of a sudden your blood sugar just drops. And again, this is to prevent it from going down. So like when you start to feel that hunger hit while you're out, even if it's a little small, little pang of hunger, then that's when you wanna have this snack. All right, tip number 2, and the next thing that you need to do to prepare for blood sugar lows is to pack 1 to 2 snacks that are going to bring your blood sugar up quickly. Now, this is not the same as tip number 1, where we're having a snack that's more of like a maintenance snack to keep your blood sugar steady. This is more so in case of an emergency. So in that emergency, you don't really care if it's something that's going to be a perfectly balanced snack. In reality, you want something that's going to bring your blood sugar up because your blood sugar being low can potentially be dangerous if you let it go unchecked. Personally, I've never passed out or had anything super extreme happen as a result of hypoglycemia. Usually I'm close enough to a snack or a drink or something that can bring my blood sugar up. So I've never experienced anything like this, but I know other folks out there have passed out, and in really, really extreme circumstances, you can have seizures from too low of blood sugar. Again, not to scare you, but just to keep you aware of some of the things that can happen. Blood sugar is such an important thing for our body to function, so you really don't want to be low for a long period of time, just like you don't want to be high for a long period of time. Both can cause different levels of damage depending on how long they go. So for this snack, you're going to want to focus on completely and totally carbohydrate-based snacks. So I'm thinking something along the lines of fruit puree pouches. Those are really great, like Go-Go Squeeze. You can also do something like a granola bar that's mostly carbohydrates, not a protein bar necessarily, but just a granola bar that has about 10 to 15 grams of carbs at least. You could have something like a mini Gatorade in your car or something like that if it fits in your purse. Any kind of juice also will suffice. And honestly, even if you have something like hard candy or some small mini pouch of candy, that can help bring your blood sugar up quickly. And you might be like, Katie, are you recommending that I have candy and juice and Gatorade all the time? And I'll be super transparent. I am a food freedom dietitian, so you're never gonna see me say that you can't have a specific food. I think it's really important to your mental health and to your overall nutritional balance and sustainability of your diet to have all foods fit. I do think that there's, of course, something to be said about moderation in these things, but this is not really the moment to think about moderation. This is the moment to think about, this is a snack in case of an emergency that's going to bring my blood sugar up. So you're not mulling over the nutrition in this moment. you are trying to find something that's going to bring the blood sugar up, and then you can have a balanced snack or meal after. But in that moment, all you care about is bringing the blood sugar up. And usually what that means is simple carbs. So like we said, anything that I mentioned before is really good. A banana is an example of a whole food that you can have that also will bring your blood sugar up really quickly and is more nutritious if you want a better option like that. Crackers are also a really good one. You can do whole grain ones, or you can do just regular crackers, really anything that's easy to keep in your purse that you can always have as just a little sidekick. And again, I would keep 1 to 2 servings in your purse or bag or car or wherever you keep this, because what inevitably happens, or what I find happens, is that you use that one emergency snack, and then the next time you are out and about for a long period of time and you use the last emergency snack, you don't have backup. So might sound excessive, but I'd say 1 to 2 if possible, or if you just have one, just make sure to replenish your purse or bag or whatever when you use that one. Tip number 3, to be prepared for low blood sugar moments. This one is almost like a little bit of a preventative, but it's also something to keep in mind just when you have it, is make sure that you're not having caffeine on an empty stomach. And especially not if you're going and like walking around the mall or doing something really active, going on a hike. All of these things can lead to low blood sugar inevitably, but also can make it worse than it would have been without the caffeine. So if you're skipping a meal and then going on a hike versus if you skip a meal, have a coffee, and then go on a hike, it can be 3 times as bad if you have the coffee. At least, again, in my experience, but I've talked to a lot of different folks that had the same kind of experience as well. And this one I wanted to throw in here because I did have exactly this experience and was reminded of this weekend when I went to the mall to celebrate my birthday over the weekend. I actually did have food. So I had like a little breakfast burrito from Starbucks, and then I had half of my coffee, which, you know, isn't that much caffeine, but let's just say right now I am in a spot where I'm a little more sensitive to caffeine. I'm currently breastfeeding, so it takes a lot of energy out of me, and I think that that led to even my burrito not being enough to like sit on my stomach to quell the effects of the coffee. But I had the coffee and burrito, and then 3-4 hours later, I still hadn't had a snack because, you know, we were just out and about, we were shopping, and then all of a sudden in American Eagle, it like hit me like a ton of bricks. I felt that weird anxiety in my chest. My fingers started to like twitch a little bit, and I felt like that really urgent feeling, kind of like a panic attack of like, I need to get out of here and find a snack. And unfortunately, what also happened is that my emergency snack was not in my purse, and my normal snack was not in my purse. So I thought I had my Lara bar in there, and I didn't. And I was really freaked out because of it, because this hadn't happened in a really long time. I've been pretty on top of my blood sugar for a long time. So I haven't really had a low blood sugar moment in a long time where it was like out in public and all of that. So it took me by surprise, and I was really freaked out by it because I couldn't get out immediately. There was like a really long line, and long story short, like I thought I was good, but I was in line, I didn't want to get out of it, and I just felt like, okay, I need to find something in my purse. I know something is in like the bottom of my purse, because always there ends up being something in my purse. I am a very snack prepared person, so I dug and dug and dug, and I couldn't find anything for like a good 5 minutes. I was super freaked out. And then eventually I found a granola bar at the bottom of my purse, which was like scrunched up and like had been in there for a while, but it did the trick. Immediately I felt a lot better, and eventually 10, 15, 20 minutes later, I was able to get a full meal. So, you know, crisis averted. But let me know in the comment section below if you have any stories about a low blood sugar moment. Honestly, they're super scary, and the unfortunate part is I feel like most people don't take low blood sugar and hypoglycemia very seriously, either in the medical community or otherwise. I think that it's often overlooked as being dramatic or just being a panic attack, which I do recognize that I get panicky when my blood sugar is low and it connects, but I know for a fact it's not just a panic attack because I have tested my blood sugar in these moments in the past and seen that it's a low number like 64 or 70 something, on the lower end, but not dangerously low. So I'd love to hear your stories below. Let me know what other questions you have on hypoglycemia or PCOS or insulin resistance, anything like that. They all kind of go hand in hand, as I've found out from recent research and really kind of learning on my own how to manage my blood sugar. And then finally more research has come out about these things. So it's nice to see that, but I really wish that I could have had this information a long time ago. So that's why I love sharing it with you. Thanks so much for hanging out with me on today's video. And if you were interested in continuing to hang out with me, I'll leave a video here on the screen so you can check it out. Actually, I'll leave my video on reactive hypoglycemia up here so you can get a more like baseline knowledge, and then maybe from there you can tell me what questions you have and what you'd like me to continue talking about here on the channel. All right, thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.